ほう、向かってくるのか。ダムダムダムダムダムダムダムダムダムダムダムダムだ。
So, Slay the Spire is still hard. Despite the fact that I beat the final act in my defect video, that doesn't make the results any more replicable, especially with other characters. So I decided to try Act 4 with everyone's favorite demonic warrior, the Ironclad. But in order to even reach the final act, you have to do a couple—
Hey, whoa. You already explained all of this in the last video.
Fine, I'll make it quick then. You've gotta beat the game with each of the first 3 characters, collect 3 keys during a run, then beat the game as you would normally. Go through the door and kick the heart's ass. That doesn't seem right. Anyways, let's get right into it. So, first things first, Niao's Blessing. I decided to take a random common relic. I was contemplating between this and removing 2 cards, but I like to play aggressive with the Ironclad, so I'm going to need all the HP I can get. This gets me the Smiling Mask, which makes card removals at the merchant always cost 50 gold, making it easier to slim down my deck. My first few card drafts aren't too exciting, but I pick up a Wild Strike and Reckless Charge in hopes of finding a Fire Breathing later on. I make my way through to the Burning Elite, which is a Gremlin Knob with Metallicize. Now, for pretty much every other character I'd be worried, but I think Ironclad is the strongest character against Act 1 elites, because his Burning Blood makes it way easier to take trades, which allows him to just rush down enemies. So the Gremlin Knob goes down, and I get the green key, as well as a pair, which raises my max HP by 10. Off to a good start. The chest I get contains the Singing Bowl, which allows me to increase my HP by 2 anytime I don't take a card reward after a fight. That's a way too good of a relic to pass up, so I take it instead of the blue key. However, I immediately follow that up with taking the red key at the next rest site, so all I need now is to get to the Act 2 chest. The rest of the act goes smoothly, and I pick up a few good cards along the way. The best card I pick up is Armaments, which is
How is that the best card you picked up? You have cards like Rage and Flame Barrier, which are both defense and offense. Rage is even free. Armaments only gives you 5 block, which is the same as a normal defense.
Yes, I understand that. That's not what makes the card good. You see, Armaments allows you to upgrade cards during combat. Unupgraded, it only does 1 card in your hand, which is okay. But upgraded, it allows you to upgrade your entire hand. That is potentially 9 card upgrades for 1 energy. That is insane value, considering to upgrade a card normally, you have to choose between upgrading 1 card and healing. And this card is also a common card, so you're more than likely to see at least 1 during a run. Sorry, card rant over. Oh, and would you look at that? The Act 1 boss is dead. I pick up Demon Form, which will give me 2 strength every turn after I play it, as well as the Mark of Pain, which gives me an extra energy per turn at the cost of shuffling 2 wounds into my deck at the start of each combat. The wounds aren't too bad, especially when my other options are no gold and no healing at rest sites. Act 2 has probably the 4 most important pickups of this run. The first comes at an early shop, where I pick up Metamorphosis. This shuffles 3 random attacks into your draw pile and reduces those attacks to 0 energy. And the only thing I love more than damage is free damage.
Actually, the card costs 2 energy to play, so it's not actually free damage.
I don't like you. I then decide to buy the War Paint, which upgrades 2 random skills in your deck, and it just so happens to upgrade the Metamorphosis that I just bought, as well as a Defend, upgrading it to give me 5 attacks that cost 0. I probably could have just stopped taking attack cards at that point, but I have small brain, and only thought of that after I finished the run. Item number 2 is the Tungsten Rod. I get this from the chest, and I take it over the blue key, meaning I'm going to have to give up whatever comes in Act 3 regardless of what it is. But it's totally worth it because this is absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most powerful relic to get when going up against the heart. I'll explain in more detail once I get there. Item number 3 is Heavy Strike Plus. This, along with Demon Form, is my main source of scaling damage since, depending on whether or not I can upgrade it with Armaments, Demon Form gives 2 to 3 strength every turn, which in turn increases the damage of Heavy Blade Plus by 10 to 15 damage every turn. Lastly, I get an Offering, which gives me some card draw and energy to find things like Demon Form and Metamorphosis early in a fight. It does cost 6 HP to play, but this can be negated by Burning Blood. The Act 2 boss goes down like a house of cards, and we're on to Act 3. In Act 3, I pick up the Kunai from the Merchant, which works well with Offering and Metamorphosis. I also get Secret Technique, which allows me to look for Metamorphosis or Offering if I haven't drawn them yet, as well as a couple more very nice cards, Limit Break and Fire Breathing. Limit Break doubles my current strength, which allows Heavy Strike to scale even faster, and Fire Breathing will help do a little bit of damage since I already have 2 wounds added to my deck every fight, and the last 3 enemies I have to fight all add status cards to my deck. I get to the chest and have to take the blue key, which is unfortunate since it means I have to give up the Paper Frog, which would make vulnerable enemies take 75% more damage instead of 50%, but I guess if I had to give up one of the 3 relics I've gotten from the chests, I guess it'd probably be that one. While all of that is happening, I also pick up a strawberry and use the singing bowl to get my HP up from 96 to 111. Deka and Donu get me pretty low on HP, which makes me a little worried considering the 2 fights to come are harder than that, but nevertheless, I've made it to Act 4. I decide to upgrade Demon Form just so I don't have to worry about getting it and armaments in the same hand. I only have 66 gold going into the shop, so I just decide to remove my final strike. The shield and spear fight is up next, and I'm kind of nervous. The one thing this build is quite bad at is blocking damage, so I'm worried that even if I make it through this fight, I'm not going to have the HP to withstand the heart's attacks. I play Demon Form first turn, which opens me up to taking 20 damage. Not a great start, but I need Demon Form if I want to win. Turn 2 allows me to get Metamorphosis out, as well as Offering, and I start chipping away at the shield's health. Turn 3 and I end up having to trade a bunch of damage, taking me to about half health. Turn 4 is pretty much a wash since I draw no damage cards, but Fire Breathing deals 20 damage to the spear, so there's that. Turn 5 and I draw Limit Break, which doubles my strength from 11 to 22, and with all the damage that I drew, I'm able to deal exactly enough damage to finish both of them in a single turn. This leaves me with 74 HP to fight the heart, which is more than the other characters usually ever get, but I'm still nervous. And here we are again, facing the heart. Now, remember when I mentioned how strong the tungsten rod was against the heart? Well, the reason being is that the tungsten rod reduces any damage you take by 1. Seems weak, right? But there's something that the heart does that deals exactly 1 damage, specifically when you play a card. Yeah, this relic completely negates any damage you would take from the Beat of Death until its second buff. It's also super useful against the 12 times attack because it can reduce the damage you take by up to 12, making it far less scary the first couple of times. One thing to keep in mind though is that this 1 damage reduction does not apply to my block, so I need to play my block cards last now. I get Demon Form first turn again, which is huge. Getting my strength scaling started now will set me up for success later. Hopefully. However, I also get Metamorphosis, but I don't have enough energy to play it, so I'll have to wait a bit to play that. Just kidding, I use my Liquid Memories potion to bring it back at 0 cost next turn. I also completely forget about my tungsten rod, so I waste a lot of block that I didn't have to. Flame Barrier is a decent card to have in this fight, since it acts as temporary thorns damage, meaning the heart takes 48 damage just for attacking me. However, I get a terrible draw on turn 3, so the heart gets to deal 42 damage back to me, and I start to feel like that I'm in danger meme. While it's buffing, I'm able to get Fire Breathing going to help balance out the status cards it gave to me at the beginning of the fight, and I play Limit Break to get me up to 18 strength. It doesn't use its multi-attack, but I'm able to block most of the damage thanks to Rage, Iron Wave, and Flame Barrier. Next turn and things start getting very dicey. With the current damage it's going to do, it would kill me. I only have a single regular defend card, which is going to block a whopping 5 damage, which is enough to keep me alive until next turn, but that leaves me with 3 HP. Luckily this turn is a buff turn, but that also means that the Beat of Death will become a huge issue next turn, since the Tungsten Rod no longer negates all of its damage. And when you're on 3 HP, 1 damage is a huge issue. Hahaha, this is the end of the line for you. You've traveled all this way just to be defeated by me yet again. Admit it, you're weak. You're right, it's over. Defeat is at hand.
For you.
Alright, 2 out of 4 characters done. The Silent and Watcher I feel are going to be much harder than the Defect and Ironclad because I haven't played them nearly as much. But that should be part of the fun. Anyways, like if you like, subscribe if you loved, and comment which of the Slay the Spire characters is your favorite, as well as which one I should do next.